Hello everyone, how are you all? Just give me your reaction quickly. Okay, that's great. So basically, we will just wait for 2 to 3 more minutes so that everybody can join, and we will start our session by then only. Okay. Okay, guys, I think we can now start because everybody is here right now. So yesterday, what we have discussed is basically we have just started to creating, our first project, and yesterday we have just made our very first Android project. I hope you all are able to run it in your mobile phone as well. If yes, just quickly give me your reaction so that I can just got to know that you all have done with this application, and now we can just proceed further. Okay, great. So I just got so many reactions right now. So basically, we can just move ahead. So yesterday, we have just made our very first basic application in which we were just having, one toast message inside in your own crate. So whenever you will be open your application, you will see a toast message, which is something like "Hello world" to my first application. That's it, right? Yesterday we have just discussed about what is toast and what is a toast message, something like that. So we are not going into very deep right now as well for this. So today we will be discussing about the front end as well because in my previous project, we have not done anything on my front end. So today we will be discussing about front end and how you can take the component. If you remember, I have already told you about the component that whatever component, whatever things you will, keep on your front end, like button, like edit text, like text view, like image view, like web view. So whatever component you will be using, whatever things you will be using on your front end, that is all component. So today we will be discussing about that how you can take the component on your front end and then what we have to do to link it with your backend and how we can proceed further. So today what we're actually going to make, we are actually going to make a new project in which we will be having one button as a component in my front end, and we will just discussing that how you can do, on click, how you can click on that particular button, and on click of that particular button we will be just showing this particular toast over there. Akhuri, what you want? Why you are asking remote control of my screen? This is just a last warning. Otherwise, I will just remove you from my class. Okay. So now, instead of this toast message, so let me just make it comment. What exactly the meaning of comment? That means now if I will run my program, then this particular toast message will not be appear. So whatever line I will be making as a comment, that will not execute. You can understand for the timing. Okay. So what I am doing is I am just creating the things inside the same project, which is Hello World Tools, which we have created yesterday. What you can do is you can, if you want, you can just create a new project, and inside in your new project we can just proceed further with the main activity. Or if you want to continue with your same project, you can also do the same thing, because today we will be discussing about the front end, and we will be having our one button in my front end, and then I will just show you that on click of that button this message should be appear. Is that fine? So without any delay we will just move ahead for the front end part. And you know that where is your front end? Your front end would be inside in your resource, and then you have to go to in your layout, and there you will be able to see activity underscore main.xml. Yesterday we have seen it, and this is what my front end. If you see, by default on your front end you have a text view which is having hello world, right? And yesterday we have already discussed about that you have three options to do. If you want to do design only, that means you want to drag and drop something over here, then you can be on the design part. Otherwise, if you want to do code in your XML language for making a design, then you can just be in a code section and you will be able to write your code in XML language over here. On your design part, you have seen that there is a text view. As you can see in your code as well, the code is written for that particular text view is here, right? Otherwise, if you want to see both of the things together, then you can just have a split button over here. You can click on it, then you will be able to see the code and design together. Okay. So what I want is I'm just going to create a button over here, because what I want to create is I want to create a project in which there should be a button. When I click on that particular button, a toast message should appear, right? So for that, what you have to do is you have to remove this hello world from here. How you will do this? Just click on it and you will be able to see this code over here, right? As you can see in your split window on your code section, there is something written text view from here to here, right? So you have to select this all together, And after that, what you have to do is you have to delete it. So just remove this code from here and you will be able to see now, once I have deleted this code from here, no text view is written over here. Is that fine? Let me know if you are on the same page. You can just give me a quickly reaction so that we can just proceed further. Cool. So we have so many reactions right now. Okay, cool. So now we can just move ahead further. So basically, now we just need a button over here instead of my text view, right? For that, what we have to do is, first of all, we will just go to design part, because first of all, we will just see that how we can do it via design only, right? You can see right now there is nothing over here. We will just go to design part, and in your design part on the left side you will see a palette. In your palette you will be able to see a button, this button and then this button. So over here what you have to do is you have to just click and drag and drop like this. Once you will do this, you will see this button is over here, right? Now what to do with this button? We will just go to split mode again, and you will be able to see we have automatically written code of this button, right? Now we will do some editing over here for this button from the code only. Okay, what we will be doing in your front end, there are so many type of constraint layout. Like we have a linear layout, we have a relative layout, we have an absolute layout, we have constraint layout, we have coordinator layout, we have table layout, we have frame layout. So we have so many layouts, right? That we will not be discussing today. We will be discussing in the training sessions, okay, in deep. For the timing, we will just continue that we will be having linear layout instead of this constant layout. By default, you will be having this constant layout. You have to remove it, and instead of that, we will be using linear layout. Okay, how you will do this? You have to select this from here till here, okay, and remove it. You will see once I delete it from here, then automatically it has been deleted from here as well, right? Now, instead of that, what we have to do is you have to type capital L, I, and again Android Studio will try to help you out. So instead of coordinator layout, you will just type linear layout over here, and automatically you will see linear layout will be over here as well. Make sure your line of code syntax should be similar like this only. If L is capital, your L should be capital. If this arrow is over here, opening, then opening arrow should be over here, and it should be closed over here. Is that fine? I hope you all are done with this. Just give me your reaction quickly. Okay, cool. So we have so many reactions right now again. So we can just move ahead. So you can see whenever it was in constant layout, it was something right here, right? Somewhere in between. But when I change it to linear layout, it has been shifted to top left position, right or not? So basically after shifting it to linear layout, first of all, we do not need this two line, which is tools layout editor, absolute X and Y position, because it used to work with coordinator layout, constraint layout, sorry. It used to work with constraint layout, but it will not work with linear layout, right? So it is unnecessary code for me. So that is why I am just going to select these two lines, which is tools layout editor absolute X something something, and tools layout editor absolute Y something something. So selecting it and deleting it. You can see there is nothing change over here, right? Now let me just show you what we have. We have a button, and button is having three things. ID, basically every component which you will be using over here in your front end, that should have a specific ID always, and that should be unique. If I will be having more than two buttons, ID of these two buttons should be different. Okay, why we need this ID? We need this ID to link this button with a backend file. Okay, by only using this particular uniqueness of ID, we will be able to link this button to my backend. Okay, whenever I am just saying that you have to click on it and you have to show it a toast message. So how your backend will get to know that when you click on it? So because of that linking process only, we will be discussing little bit later. Okay. So you understand right now that ID is required to link this button with my backend file. Plus, this should be unique for each and every component which you will be making over here. No two component can have similar ID. That is fine. Now we have a width and height. Width, as the name suggests, is defining the width of this button. It is written wrap content. That means if I am going to change the text length, like button Ayush, right? So you will be able to see this button length is going to increase, right? If I will remove it, then automatically it will be here only. So as per your content, wrap content will be change your button length. Is that fine? Height is same for in terms of height vertically. It is also I am making wrap content. So we have two options to change it. Instead of wrap content, I can just have it like match parent. If you see match parent, then you will able to see that whatever screen size of your mobile phone, it will take full size of your width. Okay. Same goes for here. If I will make it match parent, then it will take your full width of full height of your mobile phone. Okay. So we don't want it to take full height. That is why we will be keeping it wrap content. Okay. Now we understood what is wrap content, what is match parent. There is another thing as well. If you want to give some custom width or custom height, you also can do that. Suppose instead of this height, what I want is I want to give it like 300 dp. So you can see height can be in 300 dp. But mostly I would not recommend you to give custom things. Reason behind it, because we have different screen sizes of mobile phones, right? Some screen sizes like 4 inch, some is basically like 5 inch, some is 6 inch, something like that. So your app should work in each and every different screen sizes, right? If you will make it custom like 300 dp, it will try to get this much height. So what will happen? Some of your content will hide in some of the devices, and in some of the devices it will look little bit weird, right? So if you will make it like wrap content and match parent, something like that, then automatically it will adjust height and width as per your screen sizes. So always make sure that until it is possible that you can just use wrap content or match parent, this is the best practice that you will be using wrap content or match parent in your code whenever you will be using any button, any component. Okay. In some cases, we will be using custom height and width. That is something advanced thing, which I will let you know when we will be doing training. But majorly, we will try that we will be using wrap content or match parent. Is that fine? Now we have another text. Text is basically the text written on your button. So right now it is written button. If I want to change it, something like click me to show toast, right? So this also we can just use. Okay, something like that. Now what we want is I want this button should be in center over here, from the top and from the left as well, and from the right as well. So how we will be doing this? For that we have to do it something like that in your linear layout. In your linear layout, you have to come over here. First of all, you have to provide orientation. Orientation is very must whenever you will be using linear layout. Orientation is having two options to fill on, which is vertical or horizontal. Okay. What does it mean? It means whenever you will be using more than one component, that should be in column, that should be in vertical manner, or that should be in horizontal manner. That means if I will be having one more button, something like that. Okay. One more button over here. Suppose I will be making one more button over here. Instead of button, I will be just using button 1 for the time being. And yeah, so we have one button and one button. Now, if we have not provided orientation, by default, it is taking horizontal. That means this button and then this button. Let me just take it like click me show toast 2. Okay, so you can see one button and second button. If I am going to make it like vertical, what will happen is you can see one after another over here in a vertical manner. So we have two options. If I will make it like horizontal, it will be here. If I make it like vertical, then it will be here. So whenever you will be using more than one component, you can use orientation. So this is the best practice that whenever you will be using linear layout, always you have to provide orientation, and most of the application will have almost vertical orientation. So parent layout will always be, most of the cases will have vertical orientation. We can have more than one linear layout as well whenever we will be designing a professional application. In that, we will be deep dive whenever we will be doing our training. Okay. So now we are done with this. Now what I want is, I want to make this button should be in center. How we will be doing this? In your linear layout, you have the option like gravity. So once I will type GR, and you will be able to see we have options like gravity. And in your values, you have so many options from here. You will be using center. Once I will be using gravity center, then you will be able to see that this button will always be in center. Now, my layout is good to go with any screen size. How you will test it? Suppose right now we were just on this screen, which is 5-inch 1080 into 1920. If I want to make it in like 6.3, then you will be able to see that on 6.3 as well, it is on the center from top, left, right, and bottom. It is equal spaces. Just see on another different screen sizes like 10.1, which is tablet. Then also you will be able to see my button is equally center from top, bottom, left, and right. Right? So that means this particular screen sizes and this particular UI is perfectly responsive for different screen sizes. Okay, so I guess we are good to go with our design. For the timing, we are not going to change anything else inside this layout. Now we have to go to our backend file, which is main activity. So in my front end, what we have is, we have one button, right? So anytime whenever you will be using in any product, any component, I am again saying, whenever I say component, that means I am talking about the things which are in on front end, right? So right now we have just one button. So whenever you will be on your back end, you have to do this step, which I'm going to do it for each and every component whenever you will be in your backend every time, right? So first of all, before this override, you have to create the object for the button class, because right now we have only one button. That is why we have to create an object of my button class in my backend. Okay, for creating an object of button class, you have to come above override and below this app compact activity. That means inside in your main activity class, before this override on create method, you have to define your object name of your button class. So whenever I'm saying button class, that means B should be capital because it is a class, and we know that every time whenever we will be writing any class, the first letter of that class should always be capital. Okay, BU double T, and you are able to see whenever I have just written over this thing, and I have just suggestions over here, right? So let's just click on it, suggestion, and you are good to go. This is the class name. Now you have to type your object name. Object name, the best practice is to write in camel casing. What is this? A small first word of your button, first word of your object name, right? That should be in small, and then maybe I'm just writing it toast. So this is for button toast. This is just a best practice. However, you can just write anything, whatever you want over here, because this is for showing a toast. That is what I have just written, button toast. This is all up to you. If you want to change this object name to be different, you can just have that name as well. Okay, is there any problem? If no, then we are good to go with this. Give me a reaction, guys, quickly. Okay, great. So with this step of line, what we have done is, we are basically good to go with our object. Now what we have to do is, next step for every application which you will be making after this application, next step what you have to do is, you always have to link this object which you have created on your backend with your front end button, with this button. Okay, so how you will be doing this? Inside in your onCreate method, here you have to type this object name like this. Okay. And over here, what you have to do is equals, there is a property or there is a method which is called find view by ID. Okay. F always be in small. Once you will type find, you will be able to see the suggestion. Just click on it. And inside in your bracket, you have to give the path of this button. You have to pass this ID. How you will be doing this? R dot ID dot, what is the ID? This button, BUTTON is small. So just type BUTTON. So always you will be using r.id and then the ID of that particular component. In my case, the ID is button. Obviously, you can change it as well. If I will make it like BTN underscore toast. So I have to change it over here as well, like BTN underscore toast. Okay. Is there any problem? That is all up to you if you want to change it or not. As a best practice, we should always change it and we should keep it something related to my button. So because it will be showing us the toast, so that is what I have just kept it all a small letter and I have just made it like this. Okay. If you will say that I am just writing wrong spelling over here, BTN. So this is not wrong spelling. This is just basically a short form of my button, which we can use inside in my code as for defining a ID or as for defining my object name. Is that fine? So now we have this button. This object button toast is being linked with my front end button, which is having button underscore toast ID with this particular line. Okay. I hope there is no problem till here. Just quickly give me your reaction, guys. Okay, so finally, I have just one heart as well. Okay, cool. So now we can just proceed further. So basically, after this particular thing, what we have to do is we have to make a click event. We have to make a click event for this button so that when I click on it, something should happen, right? So what should I have to do is you have to always use this object name because now it has been linked with my front end. So we can just use this object and we can just tell this object that you have to make a click event for yourself. How we will be doing this? You have to type this object name, then you have to type dot, and this is a little bit tricky, guys. So please pay attention over here. Once you will get understand that how you will be able to make a click event, that is good for you because most of the 90% of application, maybe I would say 100% of application will have at least a button. So you have to make it for each and every application, right? So button toast dot sit on click listener. This is a property. Okay. If I will just repeat myself again. So what we have done is button toast. This is just my object name. Dot after dot. You know that in Java, everything, every property can be visible. So from here, you have to say select set on click listener, right? The tricky part is now begin. Inside in your bracket, you have to type a small new. Okay, you have to type a small new. Then from your keyboard, you have to press space key. And then after space, what you have to type? You have to press control space. Okay, after new, you have to give one space from the space bar. And then you have to press control and space key together. Okay, then only you will be able to see this view dot on click listener event. Okay, you have to click on it. Once you will click on it, you will be able to see this method will automatically generate it for you. Let me know if it is fine for you. If you are good to go with this, then we can just proceed further. That's great. So right now we have 2 hearts. Good. 3, 4, 6. Okay, cool. So now we have so many hearts, we have so many reactions, we can just move ahead further. So basically, inside this on-click method, which you have generated right now, inside this, you have to type that particular code which you want to perform when you will click on this button. In my case, what I want to present, I want to show a toast when I click on this particular button, right? So I don't have to do anything. I will just copy and paste this particular code to here, and that will perform perfectly fine. But without copy paste, I want to do it again, because so that you can just recognize again that what you have done yesterday. So inside this, we have to type a toast, which you are already aware of that. So basically, you have to use T, should be capital because this is a class name, OAST toast dot make text. You have to select this make text. First of all, inside in your bracket, you have to provide get application context, comma, the text inside the double quotes, what you want to show. So maybe I just want to show, hey, this is my second project. Okay, you can just showcase something like that, and then comma, then again you can just show toast dot length. Maybe today we can just have short and dot show. Is that fine? With this particular line of code, we are good to go to have a toast message when we click on this particular button. So right now we do not require this commented code. We can just remove it, and then that's it. We are good to go with this project. Now you know what you have to do is you have to build your APK. How you will build your APK? Can anyone let me know? You have to go to your build. Then you have option like build bundle and APK, and then you can just click on this build APK. You can see right now Gradle build is running. It will take some time. We will just wait for it, and then I will just show you that from where you can just get your APK. I know you already aware of this because you have already generated a code, but because this is just your second day, I am just repeating myself so that you can just see again. If you have any doubt, you can just see again, and then you can just be good with this particular APK. So it will just take some time. Gradle is building. That means it is generating the APK for me, and soon it will generate APK for me, and then I will be good to go to launch it in my mobile phone. So let's just wait for it. So here you can see APK has been generated, and we have this locate feature. Once you will click on it, you will be able to see this is your APK, because it will redirect you that particular location where your APK is. So right now, this is what my APK, and from here, I have to send it to my mobile phone, and that it will good to go to your mobile phone as well, right? Just give me a quick reaction if you are good to go with this. That's great. So now basically what we are going to do is I am just going to showcase that how your output should look like. Okay. So I'm just going to run it in my emulator. I'm not going to recommend you to use emulator, but for the timing, because I just want to showcase to you, that is why I'm going to use my emulator to showcase this particular APK to you. And right now you can see it is installing to my emulator. And once it will install, I will just show you the output as well. And that's it. It should be reflect over here, and here you can see this is what my project. And here we have a button, click me to show toast. And once I will click on it, then you will see this my second project. If I click it again, and here again you will be able to see the toast message. If I click on it again, then again. So this is what my project is working fine, and we are able to know that how your button will work, how your front end will work. Let me know, do you have any doubt till here? Okay, that's great. So we do not have any doubt. We are good to go with this. Now, what we actually going to do is we are going to work with edit text, because we have time right now, so we can just move ahead, and we will be having one edit text in my project. Why we will be using edit text? Because so many applications you have seen in which we need some input from the user. So how we can take input from the user, that we actually going to learn. Okay. So we will be having one edit text, and then we will be asking user to enter his or her name. Once we will type that particular name, then we will be having one button, and on click of that particular button, we will be just showing a toast message with their name. Is that fine? I hope you understood that what we actually going to make. That's great. Cool. So now, actually, I am very lazy, so I am not going to create a new project. I am going to change in this particular project only. What you actually can do is you can just create a new project, okay, with a name like whatever name you want to do actually. So you can just have any particular name for your project. And inside this particular project, I am just going to change something. If you want, you can also change it in your current project only. And after this class, you can have your separate project, okay? So that would be your practice as well. Is that fine? Okay, so now we have this button. Apart from that, we have to just take one edit text over here. For this, what we have to do is we have to take one edit text. How we will be taking? So for this, basically, we have to take edit text here, right? Top of this button, right here. Here I want my edit text should be. So basically here as well, before this button, I have to make some space and I have to put my cursor over here. Okay. Below this linear layout, above this button, I have to put my cursor over here. And again, because we are not going to write all code by myself, for that, what we have to do is we have to go to design because we will be taking help of drag and drop. And over here in your palette, you have to go to your text, and here you will be able to see that we have so many tests. Okay, let me show. Let me just tell you quickly that what exactly the meaning of these text over here. This is basically text view, where you will not be able to see any underline. This is text view. Text view and edit text are different. Text view is basically for showing the output, okay, through which you will be not able to ask user to enter input. User will not be able to type anything on your text view. That is just to showcase as an output. So if you want to showcase an output, then you will be able to use text view. But for the time being, we just need a edit text because we want user to enter the name, right? So we cannot use this text view. Apart from that, we have all edit text over here, which you can see because everybody is having, underline, right? So now we have different kind of edit text. If we want only plain text, then we can use this edit text. If we want user to type some password, then we can use something, this password. If we want user to type only numeric password, then we will be using this. As the name suggests, if you want to use email, phone, postal address, multi-line address, time, date, number sign, such kind of different edit text. For the time being, you already aware of that we just want user to type their name. So we just require this plain text, right? So just quickly get it, drag and drop anywhere, and you will be see that this edit text will automatically be over there. Okay, so right now it is right now after this button. Okay, we will just go to here and we will see we don't need this over here. We want it to be before button, so we will just copy and paste it over here, and then you will be able to see that this edit text is here. Okay, we have one edit text and we have one button. We are now good to go. But let me just enhance my UI, right? Because this will not look like good. So what I want to change something from here. First of all, we will be changing this edit text if I want to change it. But you can see this is basically fulfilling my requirement because right now I want to ask user to enter the name. And this is basically showing ID is something related to that particular concern. So right now I am not going to change it. If you want, you can change it. But as per my opinion, this is correct, right? So we are not going to change it. Now we have this EMS. What does it mean? It means it can only have this 10 numbers of text, and after that it can showcase if there is no space, then it can show some dot. So that is what it has been written. For the timing, I'm just going to remove it. We don't want it. Input type input type is denoting text person name. What does it mean? That means it will prompt that keyboard where from where you can just type only alphabets only, right? You cannot type numeric values over here. If I will change it to like number, then what will happen is your keyboard will show only number value. You will only be able to type numeric value over here. But because right now we want it to be text person name, that's why we will be having this. Is that fine? And there is called text. We don't want to show any text over here. Instead of that, what I want is I want to showcase some hint. And what I want to type, enter your name. That is what I want to showcase as a hint. Okay, so let me just tell you what is the difference between text and hint. If you will use hint in your edit text, what it will happen is you will be able to see this, your enter your name over here as well. But when you start typing, you do not have to erase this. It will automatically erase and you will just start typing from here only. It will overlap your text. But instead of hint, if you will be using text, then you have to remove first your enter your name like from your keyboard by pressing the backspace button, and then only you will be able to type your further name. Otherwise, if you will start typing, then your text would be like, if you will type start Ayush, then it will be something like that. Okay, so before that you have to remove it. That is why whenever we will be using edit text, so for such kind of hint, we will be just showing hint only. Okay, now what I want to showcase some more thing over here. So let me just what I can do over here is, let me just give some margin from left to right. Okay, so if I will be using margin, that means it will provide some space from left, from right, from top, and from bottom as well, from all of the 4 locations. If I will be using margin like 10 dB, so you can see 10 dB from here, 10 dB from here, 10 dB from here, and 10 dB from here. This is basically for my linear layout. Okay, but I don't want to give the margin for my linear layout. I just want to give the margin to my edit text only. Margin 10 dB. So now you can see 10 dB from left, 10 dB from right, 10 dB from top, 10 dB from bottom. If I want to give the margin from a specific coordinate only from left, not from top, right, and bottom. So for that, we can just use the specific like margin left. Then it will give you space from left only, not from right, not from top, not from bottom. Okay. If you want from all the direction, then you can just use something specific like this. Okay. I hope now it is little bit looking good. Now, if what I want is, I just want to make my background should be in black. So in your parent layout, you have an option like background. And in your background, you can just give some color like color underscore @ color black. You can see everything is black right now. I hope that is fine. Now, you can see your hint is not visible because your hint by default was having black color. So we have to change the hint color over here. So you have option like hint. So you will be able to see text color hint. We will be using it and we can just make it like white. So now my text hint color is white, but my text color is not white. So we have to make it like text color as well to make it white, because there's a difference between hint and color, which I have already told you. Is that fine? Now what I want is, I want to give some padding as well in my edit text. Like in your edit text, I want to give some space here as well. So we have padding like 10 dB. So here you can see we have padding as well from all of the 4 locations. Okay, so there is a difference between margin and padding. Margin will provide the difference from outside of edit text. Padding will give you the difference inside in your element, right? In your edit text only. So I hope we are good to go with this. Now we can just go to backend. And in your backend, we have already button toast object, but we have edit text. So we have to make an object for edit text as well, because the same step. And now we can just have one edit object for my name. So we can just have edit name. Okay. Now we have to link this with edit name with my edit text ID as we did for button. So same goes for here as well. Like edit name is equals to, we have find view by ID, r.id, and the ID of this, which is edit text person name. So we can just have it like this and then semicolon. Now, what I want is, I don't want to showcase this post message inside in my on click event. I'm just going to repeat myself that how you can make your click event so that you will, recall it again. So button toast dot set on click listener, inside in your bracket, you have to make it like new space, control space, and then you have to select this view dot on click listener. And inside this, first of all, we need to get the value from my edit text, whatever user have typed over here, and then we will be able to showcase after click on it. So first of all, we have to check that we have a value or not. So if edit name is not null, that means this object is not null. And edit name, there is a property dot get text, from which you will be able to get the value from the edit text, right? From the get text, you will be able to get the value which user have typed. So we are just checking edit name dot get text dot length. It should be greater than 0. That means that user has at least typed something over there. Then only we will be showing toast over here. So let me just comment that we will be showing the toast name over here. Else, if this condition is not fulfilled, right? If user has not typed anything and user is clicking the toast, then we will just show a toast like toast dot make test get application context, and here we can show you have not provided your name, maybe something like that, and comma toast dot length short dot show. So now we are pro with showing a toast, and if user has not typed anything and user is clicking on a button, then we will be showing that you have not provided your name. Otherwise, if user has provided something, right? So we will be showing a toast like this over here, toast dot make test get application context, and here we can just show hello. And here we are going to concatenate the value which user has typed, like edit name dot get text dot toString. Okay, so we are going to show hello and that the particular name which user has typed, and then toast dot length short and dot show. I hope this is perfectly fine for you. If yes, then just quickly give me a reaction so that we are good to go with this. Okay, cool. So let me just showcase that how it will work. Let me just run it again. Before running it, let me just change the text over here. Click me to show test. Instead of that, let me just show you showcase like greet. Is that fine, or it should be something else? Okay, whatever name you can just provide, you can just have. For the time being, like I'm just keeping it like greet. So I will just greet it, or if you don't want, you can just have like okay. Okay. So now over here we are good to go. We have everything fine, and now we can just run it. Right now, I'm just not going to build my APK because you are aware of it. So you can just make your APK by your own. You can just have it in your mobile phone and you can just launch it. For the time being, just I'm going to just showcase that how your outcome will look like. So I'm just going to install it in my emulator. It is right now installing. So we will just wait for it to complete it. Launching activity, and I think it should launch, and you can see now my app is in black and we have one edit text over here. Because this is just a hint, so if I will start typing, then it will automatically remove this enter name and it will overlap with my text. And whenever I click on this OK button, then it should show me that particular toast. So right now there is nothing over here, right? If I click on it, it should show me that you have to you have not typed your name or something, that it should show me such kind of toast. Maybe this one toast, you have not provided your name. So let me just click on it, and you can see you have not provided your name. That has been visible. Now I will just type my name over here. I will start typing, and you can see whenever I start typing, that particular text has been removed. Now I will just type like Ayush Gemini, and again, if I click on this particular button, it will show me like hello and with my name, whatever I have just written over here. Hello Ayush Gemini, right? Because of this hello, and this is just a concatenation, we can just add two string like this only, because from this particular text, which is edit name dot get text dot to string, we are just fetching the value from my edit text, and then we are going to concatenate with my string, which is hello, and that is what you can see on your screen right now. Okay, I hope there is no doubt. If you enjoy this video, just give me quickly reaction. So we have learned a lot of things today, that how you can just take component on your screen, how you can just work with button, how you can just work with edit text. And now I think you are good to go to make your own applications. So you can just try, making some small applications by your own. And tomorrow we will be just working with maybe calculator project, and then we will be just learning that how we can just make our own calculator tomorrow. Okay, so we will be making our own calculator tomorrow. Till then, take care, keep coding, happy coding, and be safe at your home. Okay, guys, bye bye, take care. See you tomorrow by the same time. Enjoy your code.